What's up everyone, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm just doing a bit of running around. I think it's time I get back into this RX8. It's been a minute. Engine's been back from the engine reconditioners for a couple of months now. So anyway, I've pulled finger, and today I'm going to Napa, get the parts, the bearings. I'm going to go to STA, get the rings, and I'll see you guys back after I've done this whole big Auckland run around getting all these parts, and let's start reassembling this engine. So I've just pulled this out of the corner. Just giving it a quick clean up, get rid of the dust and that off it. So I'll pull these pistons out. So as you can see, I've marked them all. Got the rings here. So I use morays, or we use morays to reassemble the engines. So we've got rings, ACL bearings, so that's rod bearings and crank bearings. So what I'll do now is I'll just give this motor a quick dust off. I'll wipe it out, just wipe all the bores out and that, and then I've got the crank there. So the crank's looking good. So yeah, I'll get all this together, and then I'm gonna start laying it out on the bench and putting it back together. It's got all new cam bearings through there, so it's been to the engine reconditioners. He also honed the bores out and acid dipped everything. There's the pistons and rods, so we'll just put the bearings in them now and the rings on the pistons, and also the crank is just up there. We just have to get the spigot bearing out, and that's been polished to standard specs. So all of these are, yeah, we haven't had to go over on anything, so we'll put all these together now and start fitting them into the block. Time to fit the bearings into the rods, and then we'll start putting the rings on the pistons. Bearings all in, so now let's start putting the piston rings on. And you can't get this wrong because they come with instructions. Where did I put them? See? So piston rings, and then look at that, tells you. So it's a walk in the park really. Oh, it does say we have to check the ring gaps. So what you do is you just, well, what I'm gonna do, you do what you want to do, but I'm just going to chuck these in the bore and make sure they don't touch. And I'll show you what I mean. So you get your ring, squish it in, it's in the bore. Cool, you see there's a little gap there. It's good, so that's a good ring fitment now. So pull that out, and we'll just start putting them on the pistons. Got all the pistons done. Now I'm just getting the main caps together so we can start throwing them in the block. Got to find the bolts. Everything's in here, so we'll sift for all that, and we can get the mains in and then start throwing the short block together. in, main caps are in. Just got to torque them down now, and then can start putting the pistons in the engine. Mac camshafts just dummy in there for now so oil doesn't drain everywhere. Just snapped, bolt snap, so that's the end of that. Just glad it wasn't the thread stripping. Time to put the pistons in. The pistons are all in, so I just carried on yesterday even after snapping that, and I'm quite lucky because the thread came out. So as soon as it snapped I felt it when I was torquing it in, and then so I slowly undone it out, and luckily enough the thread came out on the end of that. So man, I'm real lucky that that happened. So anyway, pull it out, chuck all the ARP stuff in, and then the next thing will just be, I don't have a pickup, so I don't realise I got this rear sump, because with the RX8 you need to go rear sump. So I got that. I got everything here. I got the baffle plate, so got all that there. So all I need is a rear pickup, and then I can fit the sump, and then we'll start working on the top end. We're just gonna go with, don't know if we got what we're gonna go ARP or not for the heads, but anyway, it'll have all new bolts through it now, so happy about that. We'll carry on. So at the moment, I'm just chucking on these Beehive valve springs from Calford Cams. This is their, what they call their nitrated Beehive single valve spring, which is pretty much just a heavy duty replacement than the stock ones. So just throwing them on the heads and also doing valve stem seals. Have a brand new pack there, been slowly chipping away at this. So what I'll do is I'll just carry on doing this, get all the valve springs on, the 2-for-1 heads, and then we'll start to continue with the reassemble. So what I'm going to do is grab this out and put the timing gear set in it. So we'll just drag it where I can work on it a little bit easier. So yeah, there's the little engine block there, long block. You can see all that oil down there, that's why we put that dummy cam in it. So this is a camshaft here I'm going to be using, stage 3 BTR, got off a good bugger off Trade Me. There's the specs there. So I originally had a B12, but it ended up being used on a different engine. So anyway, this is a, if you look at that valve lift and whatnot, it's gonna be a rowdy cam. 617 inlet lift is pretty crazy for a stock LS1, so it's gonna be on. And all the twin row timing chain and stuff, obviously. So twin row, there's the bottom, there's the top gear, and then with the twin row you have spacers. So these will space your oil pump out, because obviously the twin row is thicker. Drive gear and all, so it all comes as a kit, and as you can see, twin double row, all same thing, but there you go there. So I've had it all sitting here for a while ready to go, I just haven't got around to doing it. Woohoo! Cam, comp cam, BTR, big boy, 612 lift. Just lubing up all of the bearings, well the bearings are in there, but lubing the camshaft up. Too much lube is better than not enough. That's enough. So, just throw this in now. last one's the hardest because you've got there you go. BTR cam. It's all installed. Sort of. Okay, so camshafts in, went in fine. Quite easy to be honest, so that's good. Now what I'm going to do is get all the timing chains set up ready and the retaining plate. I'll put some Loctite on the bolts for the retaining plate, torque it in. I think it's about 18 foot-pounds or something like that, so I'll torque that up and then we can continue assembling it, get the oil pump on, all that, and then hopefully get it to the point where I can start putting the heads on. So we'll just go around, double check. 25. Cool, so that's cam retaining plate done. Wants to be stuck in there. So, double row timing chain is on. I torqued these down to 26 foot-pounds. Milling's all pump, but because we're running the twin row, the original bolts touched the cover, so we have gone with dome top Allen key heads. So I shouldn't have any cover to bolt clearance issues. I did pull the oil pump apart and filled it with Morays, so slip now it on. Cool, so head gasket's all on. So you just sort of sit it on those pins and grab the head. See if I can do it one-handed. Oh. Woof. One-handed. Okay. So you just locate it on the pins here pretty much. Boom. It's easy as that. Okay, so the scariest bit of building these motors is putting the heads on, because the head bolts are all weird and they like to snap. Don't ask me how I know, but anyway, what I've done is there's a whole bunch of different information on what to torque the factory head bolts to, but I have done them how I want to do them, where they feel alright, and what I've done is I have tightened them, so 22 foot-pounds, so tighten them all down to 22, and then I have gone a pass of 90 degrees, and then I have done a third pass of 20. There's a lot of information where it'll say do 2 passes of 90 in there, and I just know that if I did that, it's too much pressure. I can feel it. So anyway, I'm happy. So what I'll do is jump on this side now, do these heads. Oh, sorry, do this head here. I just pull the rocker cover off, and then we can start getting into it, and I'll show you guys what I mean. These are the bolts that I've used here. So just factory replacements, HBS 14OH. So, okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to tighten these bolts to 22 foot-pounds, because these are just a standard replacement, and then what I'll be using is a torque degree wheel. So after getting the motor complete and looking good, I decided to fit the engine mounts, grab them out of the car and just do some measurements to find that this is an LS2 rear sump, or they call them rear sump. They're more mid-mount sumps. But anyway, after doing the measurements inside the engine bay, I've realized that the front of the bowl is sitting 50mm too far forward. So the engine mount, I measured from the engine mount holes forward to the K-frame, and I have measured obviously the engine mount on the engine to the front of the sump, and it needs to be 70mm back and it's 110 forward. So Far, man, it's so annoying. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the sump off, obviously, and I'm going to have to go and grab a rear bowl, LS3 sump, style sump, and the bowl has to come back to here, and then it needs to be flat, obviously 70mm back. So it's a bit of a disappointment, but I'm not going to cry about it. I'm just going to get straight into it, get the sump off, go buy another one, and I'll fit it all up, and then should be good to go to sit it in the car, which I'm looking pretty forward to, because from there it's all easy stuff, mounting it in, and then I can get onto the wiring.